Hola a todos, estoy acá en mi casa con dos invitados bastante grandotes. Bueno, les voy a ir contando quiénes son. Él es Jammer y Slammer, son hermanos y son luchadores de lucha libre, así que ya les pedí que me tengan paciencia, que no me maten acá en la entrevista. Y vamos a hablar un poquito de su banda que se llama Brute Forcz, right?
Correct. Yes. See.
How are you guys?
Fine, I'm fine. How are you?
How are you, Slammer?
Doing great, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this is the first album. You started to the music, right?
Yes.
Don't be worried about my baby, okay? We have an iguana over there walking. Tenemos una iguana acá dando vueltas en mi casa.
He likes metal music too.
He likes, yeah, he used to. So this is kick-ass heavy metal. This is the name of the EP, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
It's an EP, right?
Yes. We wanted to put out an EP just to kind of throw ourselves out there, to get ourselves known, to see what response we'd get from fans, and we've got a tremendous amount of response from that point. So we put the EP out, and soon, not from this point, but fairly soon, we'll actually put out a full-length album with those songs back on it. But we kind of wanted to test the waters first and see what would happen.
Okay, and what was the response from so far?
Well, so far the response has been fantastic. We put out the 4-song EP, like he said, feel the water, see what kind of responses that we got. Now everybody wants more.
Okay.
They really like what they hear, and now they're kind of like disappointed because they want more. So we're actually going to be going to the studio in the near future and just finish out the CD itself.
Okay, comparing with older bands that already, are in the market, how can you describe your music?
Well, a lot of people are describing it as 80s style heavy metal, and we're great with that because that style of music,
right?
That style of music was, in our opinion, the best style out there. So we are more of an 80s style heavy metal band. We're like an aggressive metal band, like a Motorhead. We're like a Motorhead, Motley Crue, early type of Motley Crue kind of band.
It's pretty fast, right?
Yeah, it's our motto is big, thick, and in your face. We come out, we start kicking ass from that point, and then we just step it up from that point.
Oh, great. What about your personal? Yeah, don't. I gotta show it really quick. He will be on YouTube. Okay.
All right.
Hey.
He doesn't go anywhere, but all of a sudden we're here. All of a sudden he comes.
Yeah, I was seeing in your face,
Yeah.
like you were talking straight to the camera and don't even look at there.
I'm glad he's over on that side.
What about your personal influences besides the bands you name? You can.
Well, we're big metal fans. We like the 80s, like he said on the CD. People accuse us of being old school heavy metal, the 80s, which is what we are. It's loud guitars, it's screaming leads, and it's just pounding bass and drums. It's not anything. There's no ballads, there's no love songs. So it's just like he said, big, thick, and in your face. We just keep it coming, and then we crank it up to 11 after that.
So there won't be any love song in the full CD, right?
No, we won't have any love songs or ballads. I can promise you that.
No, hold on. The songs, they really technically are love songs. Teenage Lover, Thrill Queen, Sex Machine, those are love songs.
Oh, okay.
But they're not your ballads.
Soft metal.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that won't be played.
What about the future? Okay, we are talking about you are in considering to make a full CD, right?
Yes, we are.
You have something written?
Well, we already have another 10 to 12 songs done. Mm-hmm. So we'll go back to Bob Kulick, who we did this first EP with. We'll go back to him in a short period of time, maybe a couple months from now, and put out a full CD. So that's not an issue. Again, we just wanted to put out some music first to introduce ourselves, to see how fans would respond to it, to kind of get our name out there. And since it's gone so well, we'll be putting out a full album or a full CD here soon.
Okay, any expectation to have a video?
Of course, we're working. When we put out the CD and we finish the rest of the songs, we'll put together a couple of videos at that time for the songs that we have. And then we'll probably do an in-house video of us actually recording with Bob Kulick's the producer.
Yes.
And I don't know if everybody knows who he is, but he's a Grammy winner. You walk into his studio and there's just gold and platinum all across the walls, and it's not just one type of music. It's a little bit of everything, from Diana Ross to Meatloaf to Motorhead.
Yeah, he played with everyone.
And now us. So I'm looking ahead, and I don't want to be egotistical, but I'm looking at ourselves as being the next gold or platinum record on the wall.
I was have him, as a producer.
It was great. We learned so much from him. He's so professional. He gets the most out of you. So I can honestly speak that he got the most out of me as my playing and my singing. He helped develop my style. He improved on all of our playing a lot. He was just real easy to work with. He demands a lot, and he's kind of hard to. He's from New York, so he has a straight sense of humor. It's kind of a dry, hard sense of humor, but he's really a good guy. We learned a lot from him. Somebody like that who has Grammy awards, and the people that he's played with. It was just an honor to be around him and learn from him, and we're just happy that we were able to get that opportunity.
Oh, great. Any plans to play somewhere?
Oh yeah. Well, right now. And like we had mentioned earlier, we're in the process of getting on with some tours now. Right now is kind of a good time. It's the end of the year. There's a lot of bands that are out there now that need a couple of opening slots filled. So we're in negotiations with a few bands right now. And we don't want to say anything because I don't want to jinx it, because we are kind of superstitious, that way. But so we are working on a few things like that, and we're also looking at working with the monster truck companies. They do the big monster trucks that go around the nation demolishing cars.
Yes.
So they're looking at having us come in maybe, and we've got our fingers crossed on that one, that we can come in and do like an opening act before the monster truck shows here on the West Coast. So we got a few irons in the fire. We got a few things that are going. Like I said, right now, just don't want to jinx ourselves and let the cat out of the bag too soon. But there's a lot of stuff that we have working right now, so we're really excited.
Right. Ellos fueron luchadores libres. About the wrestling, for how long have you been wrestling?
We wrestled for about 17 years. We started off at the WCW school. It was called the Power Plant. It was actually called something else when we got started.
Would it be CCW?
WCW in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Right. Kevin Nash, have you ever heard of him before? Kevin Nash, Big Sexy, a lot of people have heard of him. We actually trained with him. We moved our way up through the ranks, just like it's kind of like a minor league baseball kind of thing where you move yourself up through different ranks, and we moved all the way up to a certain point. Then that's we did all we could do. We wrestled around different parts of the United States and Puerto Rico, a few other places, and then we got to a certain point where we were getting offered to do movies and commercials and things like that because we had a wild look. We were a little bigger. So we got an opportunity to get into acting, and so once we were done to a certain point with the wrestling, we actually got ourselves out here from Atlanta to LA, and we started getting into acting, and that's when we started the acting kind of end of everything.
Oh, I saw yesterday a movie called Be Cool with The Rock, playing as a choir.
Right.
Yeah, do you think to do something like that?
Well, we've done commercials, nationwide commercials, and we just finished a movie with Adam Sandler called Jack and Jill.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah, Adam plays his own twin sister. She comes over and she won't leave. So he's playing two characters.
Wow.
And it was a movie with a lot of twins. And as a matter of fact, they called just yesterday to check with us to make sure that they had the correct spelling of our names for the credits on the film. So we just found out yesterday that we did make the movie and we didn't get cut and dropped on the cutting room floor. So we were really excited about that. The thing is when we got out of high school, we started playing in the band. And then one thing led to another. We started getting bigger in the gym and bigger, and we started hanging out and meeting, I guess, different people besides other musicians. And one thing led to another where we had a choice. It was, do we continue with the band, which was going okay at the time, but we had a better offer on the table to get into wrestling. And at the time, it was a lot more money for us to get into the wrestling end of it. So it was not like we just started with the band recently. Our first love has always been the music. And even though we weren't playing, I've had drums and he's had, the bass and the guitar, and he's been practicing playing off and on for years, and so have I. It just got to the point where here in LA, with all the industry going on, but we've had a lot of strikes. The writer's strike a few years ago really slowed the industry down. We had an actor's strike. Now they're talking about the two unions. So we decided, now's the time to get the band going full steam again. And we feel that's a better situation for us, because acting will always be there. They always need whoever, whatever age you are, whatever, tall, short, whatever. So we feel that right now is the best time to get the band because, one, we're ready to carry the banner of heavy metal.
When we actually started wrestling, we were actually wrestled as a heavy metal band. We actually went out to the ring with our hair spiked up, our jackets on with saw blades and arm spikes on our arm gear and things like that. And we actually would walk out to the ring at first with Metallica Seek and Destroy, and then when we got onto some TV networks, we couldn't use any songs like that because we hadn't paid for that group to use the song. So we actually started making our own songs, and we'd walk out to the ring in our own songs.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we walked out as a heavy metal band. We were a heavy metal wrestling band is how we were as wrestlers.
So your song were on TV before?
Yes,
then?
yes. And we carry. So we always wanted to be heavy metal. We just had an opportunity to do more financially better for us to do the wrestling, but we always wanted to come back to the acting, and this is the right time. Sometimes timing in life, and this is the right time for us, heavy metal, and the iguana.
They are scared to the iguana. It's amazing. Such a big guys, and they say, "Don't bring it close to us." It was.
He rubs up against my leg. I'm out of here. I don't care what anybody says.
Any fun story about wrestling? Did you? I don't know. Did you do something or what? Any story?
I'll give you a really. It's not. I don't know if it's funny, but I'll give you a story. We wrestled at a real small venue. Maybe 1,000 people. We got to the parking lot. When you drive in or you show up, you're in character. So we show up, we're Brute Forcz, Slammer Jammer, we're the bad guys. And there's a group of little punk kids, they're 12, 14 years old, and they're talking, to us. They're, yelling at us, calling us this and that. So I looked over to him and I said, "Watch this." And as I was walking by these kids, I reached over and I went to kick the chair from this kid that was sitting in it. Well, what happened is he stood up. And when he stood up, I kicked the chair. But it looked like I knocked the living crap out of the guy. So he fell backwards, and at the time I didn't think anything of it, but it turns out his mom was standing over there in the corner, and she saw everything that happened. Looked like I knocked her kid out with a kick right in the gut. Didn't think anything of it, and a couple minutes later, we're in the locker room, and the locker room is really small. I mean, it's a small little place, and there's 10 guys in there. And then next thing I know is somebody comes running in the locker room, and they said, "Brute Forcz, we need you out of here real fast." We're like, "Why? What's going on?" They said, "Well, there's a guy coming down here with a gun." We're like, what are you talking about? I didn't know. I wasn't thinking anything about it. So we're sitting there and we're, kind of discussing. We're not leaving anywhere, especially if there's a guy with a gun out there. Turns out that the lady that saw us kick the kid's chair, her husband was head of security.
Oh.
He heard that we kicked this kid in the where. We stomped on him, elbowed him and popped him. And the story got so huge, so he came to the locker room door and he wants in. And he's the head of security. Next thing I know, he pulls out his gun from the other side of the door and he starts shooting through the door.
Oh.
Now the guys in the locker room are like, "Get the hell out of here." And we're like, "I'm not going out there. There's a guy with a gun." So you can kind of see the bullets coming through the door. We're holding the door shut. And it's just, the excitement and the euphoria of
tension.
Now when we go out to wrestle, now we got 1,000 people that want to barbecue us. So now we've got the fans right where we want them, and then there's nothing they can do. We controlled the match the whole night. We controlled them the whole night. And from a wrestling standpoint, that's doesn't get any better than that. 1,000 people that just want to kill you. That's wrestling.
Yeah.
Later on that night, as we're leaving home, I go out to the car, and there's 4 bullet holes in the side of my car.
Oh.
Good thing I wasn't driving at the time.
We would take an older car. We would take an older car in case something like that happened, and it did. And we came out, and there's like 4 bullet holes.
No, your real car.
Right. We didn't drive our good car. We just drove some piece of junk. So if anybody wanted to throw stuff at us or anything like that, we wouldn't care about the car.
Yeah, because you were the bad guys, right?
Right. Yes.
Well, I was into wrestling with my brother years ago. We had how do you call it when you do something? Is
grapple?
Grapple is the word.
Grappling.
No. When you
first get going.
No. When you do a movement, I don't know how can I say it in English. When you say, okay, this is called the locker.
Right.
This is called
It's called lockup.
Lockup.
Right.
Okay. Let's say it lockup. Well, our move was we call the sandwich.
Okay.
Okay. So we stand it one against the other.
Right.
We put a girl in the middle. And we start to go closer and squeeze the girl.
Oh, okay.
And if she smiles, it was a good, wrestling.
move, yeah.
Yes. If she doesn't mind, she didn't mind, But usually they smile.
Sure, yeah, or try it harder, Try it
Yeah,
again.
you can try that one maybe on stage when you're playing.
Or after the show, we'll get a girl and squeeze and sandwich her. Anyway, that might be another topic.
There's anything else do you want to say to your followers, fans, listeners?
Just hey, Brute Force is just going to be one type. It's going to be loud, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be fast. It's not going to be, like I said, you're not going to see a lot of, he can't jump, so you're not going to see a lot of David Lee Roth jumping around on stage. It's a type of heavy metal that you grew up where you roll down the windows, you crank up the volume, and you speed down the road. You don't care if the cops are anywhere nearby. You just want to hear your music loud, and you just want to bang your head and pound your fist. That's Brute Force. That's us.
Scary.
Yes.
Guys, thank you very much.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we want to thank you, too, because, Lucas, if it wouldn't be for people like yourself, bands like us wouldn't get the opportunity to present our music to the fans out there. So I really appreciate you having us on. We really appreciate it. We'll even take the iguana. We thank you for this opportunity. And if it wouldn't be for people like yourself, we wouldn't have a chance. So we really appreciate it, man.
No, you're welcome. The review is online.